It's nice to see something different for a change. I think this is gonna be my last or my second to last match. I think I'm gonna do one more match after this with another deck, just for funsies. This hand looks pretty good to me. I don't like the Cyclonic Rift very much. The Cyclonic Rift could be a Riemann, then I would be really happy. But it has everything you kind of want in your hand. Nice amount of lands, only one blue source, and a nice amount of Tron lands. One expedition map, you always want to have that basically because that's the only one drop, and it's always awesome to have one drop. On turn 2, we can hold something open that's kind of interactive, and if we don't need it, we can crack. So that's always kind of, in a best case scenario, what you want to do on turn 2. We already have one threat in hand. One threat is okay. If you have more than one, you kind of don't want to have more than one big expensive spell in your starting hand. And we have something to dig, something for an answer, anticipate. It's not bad. We could just rush the Better Skull for the next turn. I think that's the best we could do here. And then the turn after, turn 3 we play Better Skull, turn 4 we Cyclonic Rift. Seems pretty good to me. Usually I don't tend to go for turn 3 Tron because it's just not that impressive. You know, playing turn 3 Mindslaver, playing turn 3 Womka Engine. I mean, turn 3 Womka Engine against some decks is amazing, and against others, it just eats a path. So, but here I think it's the right play because our other options are not that good. If we had a counter spell, but like a Condescend, then I would have played differently because we could have countered like a Cranial Plating or an Arcbound Ravager. We were lucky he didn't have those, but still. So he is also still thinking that we are on red-green Tron. So now he's asking himself, why is he playing Better Skull? And if he knows the Bluetron deck lists, he might already realize that we are on Bluetron. Because I don't think Better Skull is played in any other kind of Tron. And he's taking some time to think here. Alright, here we go. Something that is very impressive and that I try to achieve very often when it's possible is a turn 4 Sunring Titan. Turn 4 Sunring Titan is a force to be reckoned with. And there comes a Cranial Plating. Most decks cannot or won't recover from a turn 4 Sunring Titan. And I'm not even sure if we wanna well, I'm gonna play the Minamo, and then I'm gonna attack, and then I'm gonna pass. And whether or not we are going to Cyclonic Rift, we will see when he is going to equip this. This is 3, 7 plus 7 plus 7, no, plus 7 plus 0. And the Signal Pests do 3 damage each. So that's 6 damage, 7 damage, 14 damage. I guess I could eat it and just Thirst for Knowledge. I don't really care about damage as long as it's not lethal. And the first probably digs us into something and wins us the game. Oh, he's Tempered Steel? I think they only play planes when they're on Tempered Steel, but I might be mistaken. Well, I guess I care about the lifelink. I think I'd rather first. Oh, Silent Arbiter is pretty good. Actually, all of these are pretty good. This gets us Oblivion Stone if we want it. Oh jeez, what are we gonna do? I think we discard Silent Arbiter actually, and we get Oblivion Stone eventually. Not right away. Like I think we wait one turn. Well, actually, if it, hmm, I definitely want to wipe his board because he's almost hellbent. But he can threaten lethal next turn. And if I do Cyclonic Rift, he can. We're not gonna be able to Oblivion Stone in a good way. Silent Arbiter is not bad here, but I don't want to don't want to discard the spells. Going for the card advantage here. I guess we could actually fabricate and get a Chalice. Chalice on 2 is pretty good here. After we Cyclonic Rift at the end step. I don't know, we have so many options. This is so complex. We could get an Angel. That's also an interesting line. I don't know if he has removal for. I mean, he plays white. He might play pop. I have no idea, to be honest. I think I just keep the mana open for now because we most likely gonna have to Cyclonic Rift. I think because he can threaten lethal. Oh well, now that we have a Dismember, we could actually just Dismember this. I think this is actually now a misplay because of a Dismember. This was probably the right play to keep the Cyclonic Rift open. But now we probably should have just gone for Fabricate, either into Chalice or into Oblivion Stone. Yeah, I think so. Fabricate into Chalice, play the Chalice on 2, Dismember this dude. Because what am I going to do here? I'm just going to Dismember it. Why did it go from the attack phase already to... I wanted to spend that 1 mana I had in my pool. Well, whatever. So that was definitely not played efficiently. If I get a tower, I'm gonna be at 12 mana. So after Fabricate, I have enough for Chalice on 1. Yeah, that was a serious misplay, but this draw. So we play Chalice on 2 because cranial plating, because all his win conditions are on 2. And we Cyclonic Rift before that because otherwise Cyclonic Rift gets countered. And I learned this the hard way. I thought, well, I forgot about it once and got punished for it. So Chalice on 2 is way more important than all the other mana costs here. We care about Ravager, we care about cranial plating. What else is there? Steel Overseer. And to some degree, Master of Ethereum is a problem, but we can bounce back, basically. And then next turn, we probably just fabricate into, oh, I don't know. There's so many things. I don't think a Mindslaver is going to do a lot here. I guess just a Womka engine is the most likely target. I mean, I don't care about any of the 1/1s. And this guy does not have... Oh, he does have protection from black, actually. Indeed, they are. So I'm gonna go for Womka engine here. So I'm gonna attack, but I assume he knows that he can block with this. But we have Vigilance anyway. So, as I said before, I don't really know how these Tempered Steel lists look like, but I assume that the Tempered Steel lists are not playing Master of Ethereum. And if that's... I mean, he doesn't have outs, basically. I guess Tempered Steel is his out. And it's not it's not that great of an out, to be honest, because he would still like 3 for 1 against the Swarmka engine. Or like 4 for 1, actually. Signal Pest is actually interesting if we attacks now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're doing 10 damage together. Oh, I could have countered these with Spell Burst. I didn't even consider that. I was only thinking about what are his outs and what do I absolutely need to counter. But because of buyback, we could have easily um, just counter that, whatever. At least the second one. So he can swing for 14, I think. We could have put the better skull on the Womka engine, but it doesn't really make a big difference. Oh, this is expensive. But if he swings with everything, he dies to the attack. It was actually a good idea to not equip the Better Scumway engine because of how much mana we used for the spell burst here. Don't see Ghost Quarter doing any good here. Thing is, though, he can jump block for days, and he will. But we will just counter whatever he plays. We will just counter, I think, everything he plays from now on. Yeah. Did we just win a game 1 against Affinity? Well, we had better skull really early, and then we drew really lucky into that chalice top deck. That chalice. I don't like chalice actually when you're on the draw because it just comes too late. Well, maybe a one-off like to fabricate into if we have like a cyclonic rift situation again. Dismember is pretty good. Etherize is okay. Remons are bad. Gene is bad. Didn't I have a list somewhere? Actually, I tend to board out Spellburst because it comes online too late. I can't speak. It was very good this game, but it's probably worse than some of the other spells we have, like Dismember or Hercule's Recall or Etherize. This deck's bad matchups are very 50-50. I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think this is necessarily a bad matchup. I think the bad matchups are Death and Taxes, Hate Bears, and Merfolk. So what are we gonna cut here? Sunring Titan? Sunring Titan doesn't really seem that great. Maybe we want to bring in. Oh, I did bring in another lifelinker. Okay. Yeah, I think this seems reasonable. Eugene, not very good. Sunring Titan, not very good. Pachella's not good on the draw. Spellburst too slow. Riemann, not good because everything's so cheap. We could bring in Negate because it hits the most important stuff, which is Tempered Steel and Plating. Actually, do I want to bring in Negate? I guess Negate could be better than Chalice, probably. And maybe Negate is better than Condescend. I think Negate is probably better than Condescend here. I don't think I would do this against a non-Stemper Steel list. But the cards, as I said before, the cards we care the most about is Tempered Steel and Cranial Plating, and it hits both of these. And he might be playing Pop. Again, I don't have any idea if he is playing that. But if he does play Pop, oh no, they play that other thing. The one with Metalcraft. Is it called Dispatch? Is it called Dispatch? I think so. Yeah. Why do you play Blue Tron? It's not very good in the meta. Because I enjoy playing it. Because it's a lot of fun to play. Because I only really enjoy playing control decks. And to some degree combo decks. At least in Modern. I tried different decks and I just don't like it. I like that every turn is a puzzle. I like that I'm never quite sure if I just made the right play. I like that I could think for half an hour about a single turn sometimes. It's the complexity of this, you know? It feels like I'm playing chess and the others are playing checkers. And I don't mean this in a condescending way. I'm not saying playing Burn is boring. Well, it's playing Burn is boring to me. I'm not saying playing Burn is easier. There's important decisions to be made playing Burn. They just don't affect me emotionally the same way as playing this deck. So Blue-white-red control is an interesting deck. I would like to give it a try. Currently, I don't have the money um to buy another deck, especially not one that's, you know, using so many expensive spells. But if I did have that money, I would try to build probably Esper control or blue-white control rather than blue-white-red, because I think I like Esper control more than blue-white-red. And now you might say again, well, Esper control is just a bad deck. That might be true. So what? Not everybody has to, you know, play to win the Pro Tour. I am actually, to some degree, a competitive player. I want to play my best, and I take a lot of the motivation I have for playing Magic, trying to play the best I possibly can, but let me actually think about this. He's swinging for 5. So we play Expedition Map, we crack Expedition Map, go to 4 mana, we are at 3. He swings for 5, we go to 7, we go to 4, play Oblivion Stone, he swings, we go to 2, assuming he doesn't have anything else. Then we Oblivion Stone. Playing Silent Arbiter on turn 4 seems just better. Yes, something that's not flying. I think I take the Expedition Map, play the Expedition Map turn 3, and on turn 4 we play Silent Arbiter. I'm not sure if this is the right play. Probably won't be Orborg. I'm gonna represent something. So what was I talking about? Yeah, I try to be a competitive player. I really try to improve, but not in the sense that most spikes or most competitive players I know define themselves. They just want to win really badly. They just want to go to a Grand Prix and top 8. And I don't really care about that. What I care about is I want to be a better player tomorrow than I was yesterday. I want to learn from my mistakes. I want to figure out these little puzzles, like every single turn, what is the optimal play? That's what motivates me. I'm not saying this is the only way to go about it. So now he has lethal? No. But you know, there's always people who say, why don't you play red green Tron? It's better. Better for who? For you maybe. If my only choice was to play red green Tron, then I would probably quit Magic because I wouldn't enjoy it very much. I can't really talk about Burn because I never played it, so I really can't say if it's tough to play. But I imagine it has its tough decisions to make. People people have too many opinions about these kind of things. They should just care about what they do themselves. I don't go around telling people, you know, they should play another deck because their deck sucks. And this is one of the great things about Modern. Modern has a great, huge diversity. And these decks, like Blue-Tron and some, you know, so many others, they might not be tier 1, they might not even be tier 2, but they are, to some degree, still competitive. You can show up at the Grand Prix and do very well. As you can see, you know, if you go online and check out the statistics, you find these decks like Death and Taxes, and even Merfolk. Merfolk, for a very long time, nobody considered Merfolk to be a competitive deck. And I don't know, was it a Grand Prix or was it like a Star City Games Open or something? Merfolk did very well in one of these big events, like maybe a month or two ago. I don't think even it was pretty recently. So the diversity is one of the greatest things in modern. One of the things that make the format so great. And then there's always people, trying to talk down the tier 3 decks. Well, I like it too because it's mine. Well, I'm kind of at a crossroads here of what I want to do. I want to first, but I also want to keep up Condescend. So I guess we keep up Condescend with first end of turn. I don't think we need to play Oblivion Stone here. With Silent Arbiter and Womka Engine, we're in a pretty good position. If our opponent has removal, we win the match. If our opponent had removal for the Silent Arbiter, we would Condescend, so we win the match. So I said I was going to play a different deck, but first I'm going to show you guys the deck list.